Hi guys, welcome to Interior Insights. I'm Jane and we are standing in front of a former cotton spinning mill. This warehouse is located in Leipzig, which is a small city in the east of Germany, and it is very close to Berlin. And in the east of Germany, we used to have a lot of industry, but after the fall of the Berlin Wall, all of this industry went away and the DDR, the former East Germany, collapsed. And what was left after that is that we just had all of these empty standing industrial buildings that didn't have any functionality or didn't serve a purpose anymore. And during that times, a lot of students or artists moved here and used these walls to turn them into lofts, to create their art, to just have these creative spaces for expressing themselves or painting. And today, these artists turn these spaces into incredible industrial lofts that we will have a look at today. If you want to check out the loft, you can actually book it. The link is in the description. Now, in industrial buildings, you always have these beautiful, iconic windows that characterize them, but if you have that much window space, usually you always have a big heating problem because the big windows just let in a lot of Germany's cold in the winter. But the artists got quite lucky here because to be able to spin cotton, you always need consistent temperatures of 23 degrees. And because of this, the brick walls of these windows are actually over a meter thick, so you have quite constant and comfortable temperatures inside. Let's go and uncover the history. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe. Let's go. What is so unique about this place is the entire building is built from red bricks that have been painted over. Now, this is the loft. We have a spacious 116 square meters and over 42 square meters of just windows. So the space is just radiantly illuminated and we have this incredibly warm and exciting atmosphere. Like I already said, the space was formerly a cotton spinning mill. So we have this very old and historic patina and the walls. One complete side of the wall is just covered with these gorgeous windows that give you a captivating view. The windows have these metal beams that structure them and just give the entire room its rhythm and its personality. As we come in, you can see that it's one big space and it's just a bold expression of color, and a very fun and playful approach has come when designing the space. Over here we have another historic remains of when this place was still a cotton spinning mill. We have these historic rustic metal lockers where people used to store their clothes while they were working. I love it whenever you manage to keep these old historic pieces alive and not take away from the history. We come right into the open living space. And if you want to discover more about how to create your own design and really add some personality to your own design, you can check out the free guide that I've created. The link is in the description. Or you can just scan the QR code. We have a table with a lot of chairs where you can gather with your friends. And all of the furniture is also from the same time when the cotton mill was still active. So we have a lot of vintage pieces that have been sourced. And you can see that the design is just one consequential design language. A lot of the pieces just stayed here forever or were just sourced around the building and around the surroundings. What's so unique about the space is that nothing is perfect, but everything just screams of raw authenticity. Behind me, you can already see stairs that are leading up to the second bedroom, but we will have a look at that later. We have the seating area and we have one vintage sofa accompanied by two vintage sofa chairs. They are all from the same family, so you can see that they are from one design. But to make it just a little bit more interesting, one sofa chair has been upholstered in a different red fabric, so that we just have this monochrome color family of brown, mustard yellow, and a soft red. The furniture itself has a very low profile, just to accentuate the gigantic height that we have in this room. Another favorite of mine is this lamp that's also very industrial, very functional, and that lets you move and adjust it however you need it. The color palette in this apartment is very colorful, like I already mentioned. You just have all of these vintage 50s to 70s colors that are kept in this little kind of muted tones. And all of the metal structures that make up this building and hold it up, that you can see in the ceiling and on the walls, have been painted in this soft green, as well as some of the walls, and they just provide this crisp freshness. And this crisp green has been paired with warm neutrals and reds, and they just create this very charming atmosphere. We are already inside the kitchen, and the kitchen is visually separated also by color. The kitchen's walls are colored in this very strong, bright red, and we just have a whole nother atmosphere as soon as we enter the kitchen. But because this is a loft and this is an open space without any doors, of course the energy flows from one area into the next area. The kitchen again has some incredible historic details. It is not an iconic designer kitchen with gigantic slabs of marble, because that would be all completely out of the place. But instead we have a very simple stove where you can cook. We have this historic remains of the former lady room. I told you before that this place also served as a ladies' bathroom at some point. And we just have all of these sinks, 7 in total. On the other side we have some more. And I love it that the designers didn't decide to just remove them and think, okay, who needs 7 sinks? But they just kept them there just to show the history. So whenever you're drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, or you want to relax and write down some thoughts, you can sit here by the gigantic windows and just let yourself be inspired by your surroundings and just by the radiant light that is flooding in from all sides of the window. Another piece of history that has been kept on purpose in this loft is the fact that all of the different floor materials are still original. So here in the kitchen area, in the former ladies' bathroom, we have orange tiles that just take us back in history. And in the living room area, we have kind of like a fabric-y floor, and again, big gray tiles. And it's also the floors that visually zone the different areas and just create some visual interest, because the space is just such a bold and fun experimentation with color, three-dimensional geometric abstract painting that you look at. Also, this table isn't just a regular table, but it's a beautiful vintage table that has also been colored half in blue and half in white. And this again just adds this fun extra visual interest. Another little detail that I love is that somebody just took a marker and decided to make the fridge disappear into the background by blending it in with the rest of the white tiles. Before I show you the bathroom that is also still part of the historical ladies' bathroom, let me show you the 2 bedrooms upstairs. So this is the first double bedroom. And you can see it is kind of like a cave, because we have the second floor that has been built into the top. And the ceiling of the space is kept in wood, so you just have this very cave-like, comfortable nook that you can just hide away whenever you want to go to sleep. The bed itself has a very low profile. And we have 2 different cupboards that are placed on top of each other. And whenever you've had enough of your guests, you just take the curtain, close it up, and you have your own little hideaway. And whenever you have so much space, as you have in this loft, there's always a possibility to create little comfortable seating compositions or just a little moment to excite your guests. We have a very colorful, bright red accent that just adds this bold and fun accent to the design, and a gigantic black and white graphic photograph. All of the photographs here are photographs of the friend of the designer that they've just traded or gifted to each other over the years. So all of the art that we can find here is original and just speaks of Leipzig's art scene. Now let's go upstairs. Now these are the steep stairs, and this second bedroom has just been built inside this loft over time just to create some extra sleeping space whenever you have more guests staying over. Everything is still kept in this very industrial design. We are so high up to the ceiling we can actually touch the metal beams. Over here we again have a very dreamy and minimal design to calm you down at night, but at the same time, because this is kind of like a maisonette setup, and you almost have this balcony situation. When you wake up and stand up, you can just look outside and just enjoy the vast view that you have over your apartment. The walls of this little upstairs bedroom have been again painted in this dark red that is both exciting, but that almost is kind of like this warm hug. And over here we have a little writing station that is also just incredibly creative, and I love it because a former facade has been actually turned inside a little writing station. So here we actually have a window where you can look out. And this little window is again an example of these unexpected moments that I'm always talking about, and it makes you feel like you're kind of living in your own little tiny house upstairs here. The vintage wooden furniture is accompanied by a bright red Japanese lantern that again creates and illuminates this radiant design. This is the bathroom, and this is also a part of the old ladies' bathroom that we used to have here. And up here it still says Damen, which means women or female in Germany. So this is the ladies' bathroom that I was talking about. Again, we have the orange tiles, but this time they are accompanied by bright blue walls. We have all of these vintage historic furniture pieces, and nothing is too luxurious because it's not supposed to be. And it's not about creating this grand and elegant design, but one that really speaks of the history of this place. And because this is an artist loft, up here we have fun prints where you wouldn't expect them, and you can just see the creativity. So much of the historic elements in this loft were kept, such as this bathroom stall. It's almost like a little museum that just takes you back in time into the days of the people who used to live and work here. Or another little detail that I appreciate that they kept is this mirror that says Sehen, Denken, Handeln on top, which means safety first. And I think that that's quite fun. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it would really mean a lot if you could just subscribe to this channel, because that's the easiest and simplest way to support it. And I will see you in the next video.